What's up YouTube, Webbers5 here, coming at you with the update to my Magician Pendulum deck, currently adjusted to the new ban list. For those who haven't seen the new ban list, I will post a link in the description for you to check it out. Okay, so let's get into the profile. Okay, so first up in my deck lineup, I'm playing the standard 3 Astrograph Sorcerer. Astrograph's still really good. It's a really good thing that he didn't get hit by the ban list. And essentially you're going to be relying on him a lot more since he's a special summon monster, so gets your plays out quicker. Combos really well with the new Electrumite and Wavering Eyes, but I can talk more about combos in a new video, which I'll probably do soon. But for the moment, I feel you need to play 3 Astrograph to help keep the consistency in the deck. Since we lost both Double Iris and Joker in this deck, Astrograph's pretty much the main thing which is keeping it consistent now, so really essential to keep playing him at 3 while we can. On top of the triple Astro, I'm now also playing triple Chronograph Sorcerer. Originally when this card came out, I didn't think it was any good enough to be used, but now, since with Electrumite, you want to be able to spam monsters really quickly, so since he's got a special summon effect similar to Astrograph, pretty much want to play him as well. Another useful thing you can do with Chronograph is combo him with Astrograph's effect, because since they both can summon themselves upon destruction, if you chain them in combo with each other, you can drop both of them at once, as well as the monster that you just searched, so you can get at least 3 monsters on board, which helps you set up for Electrumite even quicker, or Skull Dread if you've still got your normal summon. But you have to make sure if you're doing it like that, you have to go Chronograph as Chainlink 1 first, then Astrograph Chainlink 2. Or not necessarily Chainlinks 1 and 2, but as make sure Chronograph is the lower chain link, and Astrograph is the higher chain link. So you resolve Astrograph first, use his effect to search the card that was destroyed, to search the destroyed card, special summon Chrono, and then use Chronograph to special summon the card that you just searched to your hand. So if you do it like that, doing it like that is another way to help increase board presence. And one of the things I've seen recently with people in this deck is they're also playing the Astrograph, and they're playing Stargazer and Timegazer because their pendulum effects let you special summon them or place them as a scale. I'm not playing those two at the moment since I want to test to see how consistent. I want to test at the moment with my current build to see if it's consistent as it is. But if I feel I can add a bit more space in, maybe I'll try with Stargazer and Timegazer. But for the moment, I'll just keep it with those 3. Okay, next moving into the Magicians, I'm now playing 2 copies of Oath Dragon Magician. I was originally playing 1 because I didn't like seeing multiple of him, but with the loss of consistency from the ban list, I pumped Oath Dragon back up to 2 to help keep the deck flowing. Also, because he's a level 6, just like Chronograph, also opens up options of rank 6 plays. So, yeah, liking him for that. Next up, your standard 3 Wisdom Eye. This guy's amazing. He's the reason you can't brick. Just fixes any one of your scales. Don't really need to explain too much in here. Next up, triple Harmonizing Magician. Just a good combo set. Good combo setup. Pendulum summon her, and then float any one from your main deck, and then set yourself up for any Synchro or Xyz play. Or, yes, you can use it to tribute summon it to Starving Venom in that method. And yes, Harmonizing summoning another one does also set you up for Electrumite, but ideally you want to try and summon Electrumite before you do your Pendulum summon. If you have to summon Electrumite after you've done your Pendulum summon, you're gonna have a bad time. Also liking Harmonizing for her Pendulum effect to give my monsters extra points to help me push the game. Next up, triple Purple Poison. Next up is triple Purple Poison Magician, because he's one of the best ones. Pumps your Dark Spellcaster strengths, and also when he is destroyed, pop a face-up card. So good way to out Floodgates as well, like anti-spell. So you just normal summon him, crash, use his effect, pop the anti-spell, and then you can go off from there. Next, I pump my Black Fang Magician back up to 3 to make up for my lack of scale 8 after losing Joker and Double Iris, mainly for the purpose to make up for the Double Iris scale, like I would ever scale Joker unless I absolutely had to. Yeah, liking Black Fang back at I'm liking having Black Fang back at 3. Plus he combos really well with Astrograph and Chronograph if you use them in chain with each other, because if you've got a Dark Spellcaster in your grave, all you have to do is activate Black Fang, target something, cut its strength, activate Black Fang's effect, target your thing in the grave, chain Chronograph and Astrograph, special summon Astrograph, search another Black Fang, special summon Chronograph, then use Chronograph to special summon Black Fang, and then rest the card you targeted. And then that's 4 monsters you've got on field, just milling, halving something's attack in half, so that sets you up for either an Electrumite, or assuming the thing you brought back had a different name, you can set up for Skull Dread, which is pretty useful. Next up, 1 Odd Ice Dissolver still, because since he's a special summon monster, it helps set up pretty useful for going into Electrumite if you don't have the resources to do it on your first turn. Also, just good into the fusion plays as well. I've noticed a few other builds have started playing this a bit more now. That's it for the stuff that's in the archetype. Next up, my new personal tech. I'm playing 2 copies of Mythical Beast Jackal King. I like him because he's a dark spellcaster, so you can search him off Time Star. Also, I just like him because he gains... I mainly like him for his reason of negating monster effects. Jackal King is one of the new monsters from Extreme Force who gain... Mythical Beasts all gain spell counters when spell cards are used. Since Jackal King's one of the higher level ones, he gains 2 spell counters instead of 1 every time a spell card resolves. And then once per turn, when your opponent activates a monster effect, remove 2 spell counters anywhere from your field and negate and destroy that card. And again, he's level 6, so works with Oath Dragon and Chronograph if I want to make a rank 6 play. I've noticed I've been going on about rank 6s a bit. I'll go into more of the reasons of why I'm trying with rank 6s a bit later. Continuing on with the profile, next up, Triple Ash Blossom, just standard for the current format that we're in of so much searching and doing stuff with the deck. Guys, if you're in the position that you can't afford Ash Blossoms, I'd recommend maybe just probably Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, because that's quite relevant for this format. Ghost Ogre got several reprints, so it's pretty easy to do. But if you guys don't really feel like the disruption, there's plenty of other good options of cards you can play. But guys, again, use my deck just as a guideline. This is what I'm doing for the current format. So you just base it on what things... So base your decks around what you've got at your locals, how you want to play your deck. Essentially how I like to play my deck is a lot of disruption. That's why I play things like Ash Blossom, Vortex, and the new Mythical Beast Jackal King. So Ash Blossom works really well with my strategies. Okay, so that's it for the monsters that I'm playing. Next up in the spell cards, I'm playing 2 copies of Dark Magic Veil, using this as a way to try and make a first turn Electrumite, because it just special summons a dark spellcaster from my hand or from my graveyard, and then if I combine that with my normal summon, I can go into Electrumite without using my Pendulum summon. Also finding this useful because I'm now playing a much higher range of high-level dark spellcasters, so... And also really good if I want to summon Jackal straight away, so activate Dark Magic Veil, pay a case, summon Jackal, then if I do all my Pendulum stuff, I'm setting up a whole bunch of spell counters that I can use later. Next up, I'm playing 3 Duelist Alliance, because it still searches a good chunk of the deck. It doesn't really search too many of my monsters anymore. In fact, last time I checked, I don't think it searches any of my monsters, but it does search my spells and traps, which I'm finding quite useful. I might change the ratio I might change the ratio I'm playing of this depending on if I feel like adding some cards that can be searched off of it or not. Also depending how much I need that search. So. And next, based off the new ban list, the 1 copy of the glorious Monster Reborn. Yes, I realize that this is a Pendulum deck and most of my stuff won't go to grave, but a lot of my extra cards will still go to grave, and frankly, Monster Reborn is just one of those cards that is too good not to play. And also, from some stuff in my extra deck, there's another good reason for me to be playing Monster Reborn, but I'll get to that when I get to it. I was honestly really I was both surprised and also not surprised when Monster Reborn came off. I was aware that it got its recent OCG artwork, printed into the TCG, so that would make sense as to why it's come back. So yeah, should be fun to see this in play. However, I do sense there's a chance it could end up like that one format where we got Snatch Steal back, everyone abused the hell out of it, and then it just got banned again right at the end of the format. But we'll see. I think Monster Reborn should be here to stay now. Next, another new card that just came out in Extreme Force, playing one copy of Pendulum Paradox. For those of you who haven't seen what Pendulum Paradox does, it puts 2 Pendulum monsters with the same Pendulum scale but different name from your extra deck to your hand. So this is like a useful way for you to get more monsters on the field if you want to flood, if you don't have like if you don't have your Electrumite set up. Had Joker still been around, you could call this card a 1-card scale, so you would activate it, put back like Harmonizing and Joker, then normal summon Joker and use Joker to search out your low scale. But yeah, that was before Joker got banned. But still, I think this card's gonna have some decent potential. Next, 2 copies of Star Pendulum Graph. Keeping this at the ratio of 2 because without double iris to easily search it, I want to try and be able to see this as quick as I want to try and see this when I can to try and help set up my advantage in my hand. And finally, next up, 3 copies of Wavering Eyes. I know we just had a lot of our stuff hit, but I'm still predicting that Magician's going to be one of the best decks, so playing this at 3 for that purpose. Also, I like having spells in my deck to give my spell counters to my Jackals, which is pretty good. Okay, that's it for the spell lineup. Finally, my trap lineup, just playing standard 2 copies of Time Pendulum Graph. I was originally going to cut this back to 1, but as Double Iris got hit, I want to be able to try and see this a bit more, so pumped it back up to 2. So keeping it at 2 for the moment. If the format changes a bit, maybe I might add some more stuff, because there's other things I might consider, like I wanted to try the Spellbook engine in to try and give myself a bit of draw power, but for the moment I want to see how this build goes for the moment, and I'll change it necessarily. Okay, so that's it for the main deck. Going into the extra deck now. So I'm playing 1 Time Star Magician still. I don't feel I need to play more. One is absolutely fine just to help me get those searches out. Now it also combos well with the Time Pendulum Graph to give myself a send, so it's pretty useful like that. 1 Tornado Dragon just for quickly easily deal with back row heavy decks. Like if my opponent goes anti-spell and I don't have purple poison straight away, if there's a chance I can try and get 2 monsters on the field, I can at least Tornado Dragon and blow away some back row that's irritating me. 1 Baguska just for stall tactics if I'm in a position like I can't go proper full out into a decent extra deck. Just a good way to stall out for a bit. Next, 1 Naruto the Moral Leader. I play a lot. As you guys saw from my build, I'm playing a lot more level 6 spellcasters, so I can easily summon out Naruto and then get some negates on. I can get some options of spell and trap negation on board. And next, 1 Photon Strike Bouncer. Playing this is another alternative rank 6 of what I can do. And one of the other reasons I'm playing Strike Bouncer is we got a new hand trap in Extreme Force. Some of you might have seen Contact C. For those of you who don't know what Contact C does, it's similar to Flying C of how it can special summon itself to your opponent's field when they make a summon. However, Contact C, instead of limiting XZ summoning, limits all kinds of extra deck summoning unless you use Contact C as material. So I feel if my opponent does a Contact C against me, Strike Bouncer is a rank 6, that just requires 2 level 6 monsters. Contact C is level 6, so the idea is use that, and maybe like Chronograph to go into Photon Strike Bouncer, and then that takes care of it. I was thinking potentially of going into like a generic link, like say the new Underclock Taker, but for the moment I want to test and see how Photon Strike Bouncer goes. If I feel like I want to change it, I might do. Let me guys know what you think. Next up, we got Oh, one Supreme King Dragon Dark Rebellion, still liking him to beat over things. I've noticed a lot of people had taken this out for the new Underclock Taker, as it's one of the best Link 2s there is. And it has a basically kind of similar effects to the original Dark Rebellion, but I'm still liking Supreme King Rebellion for the ability to beat over anything that's big enough. That's it for the XZs. Going into the Synchro plays, one Enlightenment Paladin. It's a synchro that works in synergy with the deck. So it can be powered up by things like Purple Poison, and also just the ability to put a spell back, which is useful because originally I wasn't playing too many spells in this build, but still I like. But yeah, he can be useful. So, and plus, frankly, now that we've got Monster Reborn back, since I've got the ability to recycle a Monster Reborn, why would I not take advantage of that? Next up is one Ignister Prominence, because Ignister's just amazing, can out so many good cards without targeting. Really good in the mirror match, assuming you don't target Purple Poison. Well, your opponent's Purple Poison in that case. But yeah, really good way to out specific cards without targeting or destroying. One Omega still. I don't really use this as much anymore. I did see a lot of people playing the build of Double Omega, playing White Wing. I tried that for a bit, but with the recent changes, I've kind of adjusted my deck slightly. So I'm probably still just gonna keep my Omega in because he's just a nice card to go into, particularly if your opponent's got minimum cards in their hand. So useful like that. And finally, in the Synchro lineup, one Supreme King Dragon Clearwing, just the ability to do a nice board wipe, which is why I don't play Raigeki or Dark Hole, because I've got a built-in board wipe. So yeah, just really like him. And then of course his secondary effect, when he battles a monster, auto kill and burn its attack as damage, because burn's fun. And then fusion lineups, I'm still going with my one copy of Rodai's Vortex, just because negating is fun. I like that. Not really much reason to explain Vortex. One Gatling Ghoul, because I've still got, despite the fact I don't have Joker, I do still have a wide variety of level 5 or higher darks, so I can still make him relatively easily. It still makes for a nice main phase 2 burn, which is nice. One Supreme King Starving Venom, just as a good way to add in some piercing damage if necessary. And if I combine it with, let me find it for a sec. And say if I've done a Starving Venom after I've summoned Enlightenment Paladin, I can use Starving Venom to target Enlightenment Paladin and steal his effects, so I can both do piercing and burn the attack points of the monster I just destroyed as damage. So yeah, that's pretty good. And then finally, Links I'm playing. One Heavy Metalfoes Electrumites. I was thinking about playing two, but I'm thinking of waiting a bit for Electrumite to drop in price a bit first. I was really happy when I got one of these at my sneak peek, so that was really good. And like I said, I'll go over some of the combos that you can do with Electrumite possibly in another video. Like, a lot of other YouTubers have gone over some really good combos you can do with Electrumite if you feel like checking some of those out. Probably the easiest combo you can do with probably the best combo you do with Electrumite is the combo with Astrograph. So if you haven't summoned an Astrograph already, link into Electrumite, effect, put Astrograph into your extra deck, use the secondary effect of Electrumite to target a card, face-up card you control, destroy it and put a Pendulum monster from your extra deck into your hand, so you target something in your Pendulum zone, destroy it, put Astrograph back in your hand, and then because something left your Pendulum zone, you can use the effect of Electrumite to draw a card. If the card you destroyed was, say, like Black Fang or Purple Poison, get their effect off, and then use Astrograph Sorcerer to special summon himself and search back a copy of the card you just destroyed. Yeah. Electrumite's going to be really, really good. And then finally, the last card I'm playing with my extra deck, one Sayuga Skuldred. One Skuldred. Because he's got so many decent links. 3 pointing down. Lots of nice abilities. Frankly, with a monster that says draw 4 cards, why would you not want to play that? And since I've got a lot of monsters in the deck that special summon themselves, pretty simple to make. When I first saw this card, my first thought was, two of my monsters with different names. How easily can I make that in this? How easy is that to make? I mean, there's so many easy examples of how Yugioh works, like the Predator combo just being the almost obvious one. But in this deck, there's lots of 2 to 3 card. In this deck, there's some decent 3-card combos that can summon it. I used to have a nice 2-card combo, but then Joker got banned. So yeah. For those of you who are just quickly interested, the 2-card combo with Joker is just Joker, Astrograph. You just normal summon Joker effect to search Black Fang, activate Black Fang as a scale, uses effect to target an opponent's monster, cut its points, then use Black Fang's effect to raise something from grave, special summon the Astrograph, grab another Black Fang, activate Black Fang again, and summon back another monster. So that combo works well mid-game, but in the new build, there's lots of easy combos to do it, simply as long as you've got like, say, like you can still do a combo like with Black Fang, but now you might just need to factor in Chronograph. So yeah, pretty nice. And his other effects are pretty decent. Monsters summoned to its zone, make it just 300 points stronger. 300 isn't enough, but all those little points help. And then just once per turn, special summon a monster from your hand. I'm finding that pretty useful. Allows me to do lots of other extra deck plays as well. So yeah, by default, I think Yugioh is like the best rank 4 Konami's come up with so far. Be impressed to see how they top this. Also, just a quick question for you guys. Do you think we're ever going to get some like Link 5 or higher monsters? Post your thoughts and comments in the description. Burn's fun. And then fusion lineups, I'm still going with my 1 copy of Odd Eyes Vortex, just because negating is fun. I like that. Not really much reason to explain Vortex. 1 Gatling Ghoul, because still the 1 Gatling Ghoul, because I've still got, despite the fact I don't have Joker, I do still have a wide variety of level 5 or higher darks, so I can still make it relatively easily. It still makes for a nice main phase 2 burn, which is nice. 1 Sprinkling Starving Venom, just as a good way to add in some piercing damage if necessary. And if I combine it with, let me find it for a sec. Yeah. And say if I've done a Starving Venom after I've summoned Enlightenment Paladin, I can use Starving Venom to target Enlightenment Paladin and steal his effects, so I can both do piercing and burn the attack points of the monster I just destroyed as damage. So yeah, that's pretty good. And then finally, links I'm playing. 1 Heavy Metal-Fuzz Electrumite. I was thinking about playing 2, but I'm thinking of waiting a bit for Electrumite to drop in price a bit first. I was really happy when I got one of these at my sneak peek, so that was really good. And like I said, I'll go over some of the combos that you can do with Electrumite possibly in another video. Like a lot of other YouTubers have gone over some really good combos you can do with Electrumite if you feel like checking some of those out. Probably the easiest combo you can do with probably the best combo you do with Electrumite is the combo with Astrograph. So if you haven't summoned an Astrograph already, link into Electrumite, effect, put Astrograph into your extra deck, use the secondary effect of Electrumite to target a card, face-up card you control, destroy it and put a Pendulum monster from your extra deck into your hand, so you target something in your Pendulum zone, destroy it, put Astrograph back in your hand, and then because something left your Pendulum zone, you can use the effect of Electrumite to draw a card. If the card you destroyed was, say, like Black Fang or Purple Poison, get their effect off, and then use Astrograph Sorcerer to special summon himself and search back a copy of the card you just destroyed. Yeah. Electrumite's going to be really, really good. And then finally, the last card I'm playing with my extra deck, 1 Yugioh Skuldred. 1 Skuldred. Because it's got so many decent links, 3 pointing down, lots of nice abilities. Frankly, with a monster that says draw 4 cards, why would you not want to play that? And since I've got a lot of monsters in the deck that special summon themselves, pretty simple to make. When I first saw this card, my first thought was two more monsters with different names. How easily can I make that in this? How easy is that to make? I mean, there's so many easy examples of how Yugioh works, like the Predator combo just being the most obvious one. But in this deck, there's lots of 2 to 3 card. In this deck, there's some decent 3-card combos that can summon it. I used to have a nice 2-card combo, but then Joker got banned. So yeah. For those of you who are just quickly interested, the 2-card combo with Joker is just Joker Astrograph. You just normal summon Joker effect to search Black Fang. Activate Black Fang as a scale, uses effect to target an opponent's monster, cut its points, then use Black Fang's effect to raise something from grave, special summon the Astrograph, grab another Black Fang, activate Black Fang again, and summon back another monster. So that combo works well mid-game, but in the new build, there's lots of easy combos to do it, simply as long as you've got you can still do a combo like with Black Fang, but now you might just need to factor in Chronograph. So yeah, pretty nice. And his other effects are pretty decent. Monsters summoned to its zone, make it just 300 points stronger. 300 isn't enough, but all those other points help. And then just once per turn, special summon a monster from your hand. I'm finding that pretty useful. Allows me to do lots of other extra deck plays as well. So yeah, by default, I think Yugioh is like the best rank 4 Konami's come up with so far. Be impressed to see how they top this. Also, just a quick question for you guys. Do you think we're ever going to get some, Link 5 or higher monsters? Post your thoughts and comments in the description. Okay, guys, so that's the deck. That's my deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Post comments in the description if there's anything you liked about it, anything you're questioning, anything you guys might want to know about the deck. If you guys do want me to post an updated combo video, just post it comments in the description. And I hope to see you guys all soon. Thanks. Let's enjoy the new format.